So continue the session. So this is our topology. So I'll copy the content. Sorry. This topology is not required now. I'll close it. Now for this MLS2 configuration part, we'll simply copy and paste. Exit. And for access switches, I have enabled it's a transparent switch. So transparent switch, it won't send its transparent switch. So we'll change server switch. Sorry for that. We'll again reload the device. The entire configuration will be gone. Reload it simply. No. So why I am reloading means, so this switch as a I have taken transparent earlier configuration. So we don't need, it's like server, then only server only propagate the VLAN information. So that is the reason. Make sure you should have to configure this switch as a server in this topology, and previous topology is different one. Transparent mode, don't propagate. Whenever you are creating, modifying, and entire thing you can do it, but it won't propagate the VLAN information. Before that, we'll configuration up to here only. Later on, we'll configure the VLANs. VTP part done. And for access switches, enable. VTP part done. Same configuration we'll do in this switch also. And show interface trunk. Check the trunk configuration. Show interface trunk. Trunk is established and between. So show interface switch port. Show interface fast Ethernet 0/1 and switch port dynamic desirable. And can check here. Show interface fast Ethernet 0/1. Switch port mode is very dynamic auto. So this is a DD and this is a DA. That is the reason the trunk is established in between. So interface trunk. Okay, verified. Now check the VLANs. Show VLAN information. VLANs brief. Any VLANs assigned? No, nothing is there. But can check the VTP status. Show VTP status. Yes, it's a client position, client mode, and the same show VTP status client. Guys, can you allow me the 5 minutes? The charging is less. So still where we are. So VTP status. We configured VTP and close it. Now check the VLANs. So VLAN brief, we have not configured the VLAN, so we'll configure the VLAN. VLAN 60 and give any name A, B, C or something, and exit VLAN 70 and exit VLAN 80 and VLAN 90. Check show VLAN brief. As we have configured the VLAN. If you are not configured any name to VLAN, by default it will take the VLAN likewise. VLAN 00770R. If you configure, it will take. So here you can check the VLAN information in access switches, in these access switches. So VLAN brief is the information is propagated. Here you can check. Show VLAN brief, the information is propagated. Now configuration of access ports. Config terminal interface fast Ethernet 0/2 switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 60 and exit and interface fast Ethernet 0/3 switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 70 for this interface and exit right switch configuration config T interface fast Ethernet 0/2 switch port mode access switch port access VLAN 80 and exit interface fast Ethernet 0/3 switch port access VLAN 90 and switch port mode access. Done. Right. Now communication is established or not checked. Wait for that. So panning to for this learning only, learning state, learning still learning state. Now forwarding to forwarding. STP configuration done. Entire configuration is done. Now check the reachability. Before that, check here show IP route. We have not configured enable the routing also. So before that show IP interface brief. So SVI also not done. Will do quickly. Is first interface VLAN 60. IP address is 192.168.60.1 255.255.245.0. No shutdown not required. Exit interface VLAN 70. IP address is 192.168.70.1 255.255.255.0. Exit interface VLAN 80. IP address is here 192.168.80.1 255.255.255.0 and exit interface VLAN 90, IP address is 192.168.90.1, 255.255.255.0, and exit. Show IP interface brief. As we assign the IP addresses, SVI, switch virtual interface. Show IP route. We have not enabled the routing. So the IP routing command, we enable the routing. Show IP route. This entire routing is coming. Right. Memory. Ping from this PC to the PC 10 to PC 12. Before that, IP config will check the IP address of this. As we configured ping 192.168.80.1 gateway is we can able to reach, and will can able to reach the IP address of PC 12. Yes, we can able to reach. The LAN connection, LAN part done for this location and this location. Now, what about the ISP configuration? What we have to do here? So before that, we'll configure the IP addresses of this router. Enable config terminal, global configuration mode, and interface fast Ethernet 0 by 0. I am assigning the IP address. IP address of interfaces, directly connected interfaces, and these are the physical interfaces. 255, 255, 250. Earlier we did virtual interfaces. So make sure you should have to use the no shutdown command, because virtual interfaces by default up only, but physical interfaces shutdown mode. And again, in switch interfaces are up state only. Once you will use here no shutdown command, both the ports are up only. You can check here, you will verify. Use no shutdown command. So check here. Now can get the, it is trying to come up state. It's RS2 green color, it will become. Interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1, and IP address is here 12.1.1.2 and 255, 255, 255.0. No shutdown. And exit for timing. Will configure for this interface also IP address. So for that, we are trying to configure the IP address interface fast Ethernet 0 by 3. So IP address, it won't take the IP address. So for that, you should have to use, it won't take. So no commands are assigned. So make sure it's this port is acting as like, acting as like L2 device, L2 port. So it's acting as like switch port only, still switch port only. So for that, you have to use no switch port command. Then it will be convert to L3 port. Now you can assign the IP address. Yes, we can assign the IP address. Check here. But previously cannot assign the IP address. So for that, IP address is assigning 11.1.1.1 and 255.255.255.0. And by default, the port is up only. So you should have to use If port is down, we should have to use no shutdown command. Here not required also. Done. So ping directly connected interface 11.1.1.2 for this interface. Yes, we can able to reach. We'll configure for this in this switch also. Config terminal interface fast Ethernet 0/3. What is the reason it is not taking the IP address? Anyone you know? Anyone know why it is not taking as IP address?
You didn't put the no switch port command.
Or that is the issue. Nitin? Arte, that is the issue. Mahesh? Nikila? Bhavana? What is the issue? Why it is not taking the IP address? Nikita, tell me.
You didn't write the no switch port command.
Are you
Okay.
sure?
Yeah.
Yes. We have to make sure enable no switch port command. Then only it will be take the IP address. Otherwise, it won't take. That port is acting as like L2 port only. Right. Now configuration part done. Now we'll enable the routing in between switches. So make sure the whichever the routing in this prefixes we available in this switch, and this switch prefixes entire LAN prefixes available in this switch. So we have a static routing, default routing, and dynamic routing. We have three options. So for that, we'll configure static routing in between now. Config terminal. So before that, we'll check the routing table. Show IP route. So no routing is enabled. You should have to use any dynamic routing protocol, a static routing protocol, or default routing protocol. Then only they can able to reach. So by default, this router also don't have any routing information. So IP route. So by default, connected interfaces only connected, and low L means local, and C means connected interfaces only available. 11 dot and 12 dot. Those interfaces only available here. So for that, we have to now we are configuring here static configuration, static routing configuration, IP route. So default means 0.0.0.0 and 0.0.0.0, and next hop IP address is this one 11.1.1.2, 12.1.1.2. This is the next hop. Just enable this in done. The default routing is done. So we are not using here default routing. We'll use static routing. So for that, this destination IP address and this destination IP address, this destination IP address, this destination IP address, this destination IP. We make sure we should have to know the entire destination IP addresses. Then only we can able to reach. So for that, for 11.1.1.1, this is a one prefix, one network 11.1.1.1. 0, 255, 255, 255 dot 0, and next hop IP address is 12 dot 1 dot 1 dot 2. That much only for this interface. And here enable the same thing, IP route config terminal, IP route 192.12.1.1.0, 255, 255, 255.0, and next hop IP address is 11.1.1.2, 11.1.1.2. And now try to ping 12.1.1.2 IP address. Is the directly connected? Yes, we can able to reach, and the here to now the communication, this switch to this switch is done from here to here. Before that, we'll remove. How we will remove the with the base with the help of no command, we can remove the static configuration also. Now check we can able to ping or not. So this is cannot able to ping. We cannot able to ping because no routing information is available. If you enable, then only statically if you enable, then only you can able to reach. Otherwise, you cannot able to reach. So for that config terminal, use IP route 12.1.1.0. This is the network and subnet of this network and next hop IP address of this one. Now try ping again. Yes, we can able to reach one also even for this interface also. Try to ping this network 192.168.60. This network have the one more VLAN 60 show IP interface brief VLAN 60. What is the IP address? 192.168.60.1. We'll try to ping that IP address. Ping 192.168.60.1. We cannot able to reach that network. We cannot able to reach that network. The reason behind is that routing information is not available in this router. That routing information is not available in this router. So that is the reason we cannot able to reach that route. So here we have to enable entire routing informations. Otherwise, default routing we can enable it. So we'll configure here default routing IP route 12.1.1.1. This is the next hop IP address. Same thing for this location also, this interface also 11. Now try to ping 192.168.60.1. Still we cannot able to ping. IP route. So enable the default routing for this interface. But what about the 12.1.1.1? We can able to reach or not? Yes, we can able to reach. Ping 192.168.60.1. Reason behind this router don't have that routing information. So that is the reason. IP route. This router don't have this routing information. That is the reason we cannot able to reach. 60 dot information is there? No, we are not getting. So that is the reason. So we have to enable that routing. IP route. We know the destination IP address. IP route 192.168 60.0 192.168 60.0 and 255 255 255.0, and next hop IP address is 11.1.1.2. Statically I am configuring this is the route. So IP route, you can check here 192.168 I have configured statically. Here in this IP route, here no routing for these LAN segments, no issue. We'll configure one by one. So now ping 192.168.60.1. Yes, now we can able to reach. Because that routing information we have here, you can check. So IP route. Whenever you know the destination IP addresses, that time only you can able to reach. If you don't know, we cannot able to configure even static route also. So we'll configure entire thing. So config T IP route. Understood or not? What I am doing?
Yes, Salim.
Everyone.
Sorry.
So this is the next hop IP address. And IP route 192.168 80.0, and now we'll give the exit interface. This is the exit interface is 11.1.1.1, or you can assign the next interface of name also, fast ethernet 0 by 0, or exit interface name also. So here use fast ethernet 0 by 0 likewise also. And if you want to change the any AD value, distance value, yes, we can change it up to 255. By default, AD value is static AD value is 1. So where we'll get, this is the AD value. This is the AD value. In routing table, we'll find out AD value is 1 here. This is a metric. Metric is 0. So that is the reason there is no metric in dynamic routing protocols only. We'll find out the metric here. This is the AD value. Likewise, also you can configure it. So it is not supported. Exit interface name I have configured here. Fast Ethernet 0 by 3. So now IP route 92.168 90.0 and 255 255 255.0, and exit interface IP address also, if you want, you can configure it. This interface 11.1.1.1. This is the IP address of exit interface. Not taking, only interface name you can configure it. So direct. So packet tracer won't support multiple things. So interface has taken. This is an interface. 80. Can ping it. So IP route it is showing likewise exit interface, and apart from that, this is the exit interfaces for next hop IP addresses. So ping 192.168.80.1. Yes, we can able to reach. Some packet drops are there, no issue. Even though we can able to reach, because here we configured default routing. So whenever you configure the default routing, so that time it will be show the issues. Reachability is there. 2 packets we receive. So up to here, the configuration part done. Now show IP route. Can verify the routing table also. Entire prefixes, these LAN prefixes we are getting in this router, and we'll configure the same thing in this router also. Show IP route. So LAN prefixes of VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30, and VLAN 50. We have to configure here same thing. Config terminal interface fast Ethernet. Before that, try to ping. Definitely you cannot able to reach 192.168.10.1. This is a VLAN 10. We cannot able to reach because we don't have any route for this LAN. We don't have any route for this VLAN. So we'll configure the interface fast Ethernet. IP route 192.168.10.0 and 255.255.255.0. And next hop IP address is 12.1.1.2. 20 network and 30 network and 40 network. Yes. Now check show IP. Sorry, we don't have any 40 networks, 30 networks. We'll remove this. We have here 50 network. Show IP route. Networks we are getting. Statically we have configured. This is the routing table. Statically we reconfigure. And default routing, how it will be show IP route. ISP router we configure default routing. This is the star and S and star connected default. But here you can check only S statically configured. Statically, and default is not shown. Now ping host 192.168.60.10 host. Yes, we can able to reach. Now host to host. Our goal is this host to this entire host we should have to ping. Now our task will try to ping for this host to this host and this host and this host and this host. Whether they are communicate or not, we'll check. Ninety-two 168.60.10. Yes, we can able to reach. And 70.10 for this host. VLAN 70. Or because first packet is not reachable because of R. And 80.10. Yes, we can able to reach. And what about the VLAN 90? 90.10. Yes, we can able to reach. So today lab we done static routing and default routing. Static routing and default routing. Default routing and this ISP we configured. If you want to configure entire routings, yes, then only you can able to reach. This router also makes sure no entire routing information, then only we will communicate. That is the reason I have given this simply. So any doubts still today's session? Make sure save the configuration before you are uploading in your drive. Make sure before uploading, save the configuration. Guys, verification part done. If you want, you can check the what we configured today. So trunk we enabled. So interface trunk. So this is a port is dynamic desirable and this is a dynamic auto and VTP configuration which done. So VTP status with this command will verify the VTP. It's a server mode. These are at the client mode.